Hey, how you doing? Today we're going to talk about Banshee. I'm currently chilling right now. A snack. So it started. Banshee first appeared in X-Men issue number 28 and it's created by Roy Thomas and artist Werner Roth. Banshee is one of the first batch of mutants we would meet in the Marvel Universe, and he has a mutant ability to create sonic screams that he can use to fly, create sonar, and even use as a sonic shield, and he does a lot more with it. Banshee's name is based on a spirit in Irish folklore that serves as an omen of death. When you hear a scream in the distance by a banshee, it's a sign that one of your family members is going to die. So all in all, the name checks out, he's Irish, and he screams, so I give this name a 4 out of 5 McRibs. We first meet Sean Cassidy, or better known as Banshee, as actually a villain, kinda, sorta. You see, Banshee would be approached by a group called the Factor 3, and they would try to approach Sean, but when he declined, they would strap explosives onto him, and then he would have to listen to their commands. And if he didn't, they would trigger the headband, and he would blow up. And during this time, working for the Factor 3, Banshee would end up fighting the original X-Men team. But with the help of the Professor X, they would actually disarm the headband, and Banshee would help stop the Factor 3 with the X-Men. We wouldn't see Banshee really for a long time in comics. You know, we might see him for an issue or two, but that's really about it. He was never really a main character after that, until one of Marvel's most famous, most iconic comics ever to be released. And I'm talking about Giant-Sized X-Men #1. So this series, this single issue, introduced us to a bunch of new characters like Nightcrawler and Colossus, and I believe Storm's first appearance was there as well. But then we also saw other characters that were in the comics but never really interacted with the X-Men, or they have maybe once or twice, like Wolverine, who was kind of doing his own thing, but we also got to see Sunfire in this, we got to see Banshee, obviously because we're here, right? We're talking about it. And this comic would end up showing us the second iteration of the newest X-Men, with Banshee coming back and being recruited. See, Sean and the team was actually a little bit older than some of the X-Men from the previous one, and with this you see a lot of maturity with Sean specifically on his own. And you've seen a lot of cases where he was more of the level-headed one of the group, and during this time on the X-Men, he was really there for a lot of the big events people still talk about, but I think a lot of people forget he was there. So he was there when we met Proteus, he was there for the Phoenix and Dark Phoenix sagas, and he wasn't just only present for these events, he would also meet Moira McTaggart, and they would actually begin to fall in love very fast. And I think it's because the writer's like, well, he's Irish and she's Scottish, so they have to be together, right? But hey, that's the 60s or 70s. I don't know. It's one of those dates. They were always there for each other, and they still continue to be a part of each other's lives, even after Banshee's time with the X-Men. But near the end of his run with the X-Men, Sean and the rest of the current X-Men would fight a man called Moses Magnum. Moses would try to sink Japan with his seismic waves, but Banshee would use his sonic scream to actually try to cancel them out. But at the cost, he would actually tear his vocal cords and lose his abilities, making his time with the X-Men come to an end. While he recovered, though, he would end up staying on Muir Island with his girlfriend, Moira McTaggart, and as he healed, they would find out that he actually had a daughter who inherited the same powers as him, and she would go by the name of Siryn. For several years, we wouldn't really see Banshee past being a side character, but as his vocal cords healed, he would slowly get his powers back, and for a very brief time, and I mean a very brief time, he rejoined the X-Men and almost immediately broke his jaw, and he got sidelined as he recovered again. So that kind of sucked. That's super lame. But eventually, though, he would end up being the new headmaster for Charles Xavier's school, and he would lead a new team of mutants called Generation X along with Emma Frost. And this lasted for about 80 issues. It's actually a pretty long series, and from here, after he would finish training the students, he would end up leaving there and form X-Corp, which leading a bunch of mutants to act as an international police force to protect other mutants. During his time, with the tragic events of M-Day, Banshee, along with millions of mutants, would lose their powers due to the Scarlet Witch having a mental snap in the Marvel event, House of M. Even though he lost his powers, he would still actually work for the X-Men in the background, and during a research mission to Muir Island, on his way back, Sean would actually be killed by Cyclops' brother, Vulcan. And we never saw him too much after that. He did pop in. I think he revived, like someone brought him back to life maybe once or twice, and he'd slowly go back to death. So it's nothing really I want to talk about for that, because I don't feel like it's too important when it comes to the character's history. But ever since the House of X and Powers of X series, we would find out Banshee would come back, he would be revived thanks to the Five, and he would be part of a new secret X-Men team that is currently out now. And I think the series is maybe on issue 2 at this point of recording this video. And I've only read issue 1, but all in all, I do like Banshee, right? He's an original character. He's been there since the beginning. He's one of the pretty level-headed characters of the X-Men teams, and I like him. But the problem is, and this is seriously the biggest issue, he is the most forgettable main character, in my opinion. And it's honestly frustrating. Out of 50 years of him being in the comics and being an active member of the X-Men, he received almost 0 character development. And I could sit here and I could rant, right? I could rant for the next 20 minutes. I can make this video so fucking long about me just complaining. But I'm not. I'm going to give this character a rating of 2.5 out of 5 Avril Lavigne albums. I'm going to call it a day. If you guys like this stuff, if you guys want to come back, check me out next time. I appreciate the sub. If not, hopefully check you guys out in the next video. Other than that, I'll see you later. See ya.